Yo, I'm Ru, aka the Culture Black Kid, and this is Ruined Friends, where we review the latest releases from the Australian and New Zealand scene. Today we are going to review the latest Kobie Dee project, Chapter 26. Kobie Dee is a Gomeroi hip-hop artist. This is his second EP. Last one was in 2021 called Gratitude Over Pity. And like I said, this is Ruined Friends, and I brought the ultimate friend today. Please introduce yourself and what you do.
Marolele, greetings. My name is Hau and I. I'll do many things, which we'll get into, but obviously we're here in the meeting of the minds, Rue and myself, and as we do when we step into these kind of spaces, we must, acknowledge the owners of the land from which I'm coming from, with Gadigal lands and the Gadigal people. We acknowledge and pay our respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. We recognize their close ties to the land and sea, and I often feel very blessed to be able to do what I do as a visitor, in not only on this country but in this culture that we love. And yeah, like for me, I started off as an artist. I love. I was born in the '70s. Hit high school, I just went to rap. So I'm a super rapper, and I did become a rapper, and I was very fortunate. I just loved it. Later, evolved into radio and into record labels and mentorship. So there's a lot of feathers in the cap, which I'm very fortunate to be able to have. And another feather I will add to the cap today is music critique.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to get into it.
No, 100%, 100%. And for anyone out there, before we properly get into this, who hasn't read Hau's book, King, please, I implore you to, because it is an amazing journey. And I love that book so much. But
thank you. I appreciate that, bro.
Of course, of course. But anyway, we are here to review this Kobie Dee project. And oh man, I really had to get you on this because I know how much of a head you are and how much you appreciate, hopefully appreciate.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I was kind of, when you asked me to do it, I was like, oh, it's kind of unfair. I don't know. I guess it depends how you look at it. Because I am, like you mentioned, I am a big fan. I've been a big fan of his early and just okay. Yeah. Anyway, let's just get into it.
No, for sure, for sure.
I'm sure a lot of these compliments will be rolling through this chat. So
yeah, 100%, 100%. This is one of the ones where it's like, I give my rating at the end, but I'm just gonna say it. I'm here for this. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. I love this project so much. But as my friend, please give an initial 1 or 2 sentence overview of your thoughts on Chapter 26.
Ooh, because I've seen the other shows and like them giving their sentences, and it is a tough one. But maybe I could do it in one word: evolution. How's that? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just say that.
No, for sure. For sure. I definitely go off the back of that. Just to add a couple more words, I feel like this is one of the most genuine projects I have heard in a long time. A long time. And I just reviewed the LC Wameo album, which is also beautiful and super personal, but this one just hits in a different way as well. And especially for any Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander peoples listening to this project and, taking a lot of the notes of Kobie's story, as well as, anyone else who has experienced some of the things that he has gone through. It is just a journey that from top to bottom is so well put and crafted. Every edition is meticulous and yeah. Anyway, I can keep going.
That's a few sentences there.
Yeah, no, I cheated. I cheated. My bad. Yeah, so let's get into some pros on the project. Yeah. So how I'm gonna let you kick this off. So what are some things that you enjoyed about this project? Maybe some songs that might back up your pros, and yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said before, the evolution. I've just really enjoyed from afar the growth of Kobie Dee. You know, and introduced to him as a essentially a street kid from Southeast Sydney,
Mm.
and as you do when you're your mid, your late teens, you do what you do on the streets or with your mates, and just seeing him grow and evolve over the years, and from that kid turning into a young leader, and it's been a pleasure as someone who enjoys music, but as someone who enjoys him as a human being, and he's really documented the journey thus far on this project. He's since the last project, he's gotten engaged, he's had another baby, he's putting on community events, he's um, opened a studio in his area, and just to see him grow as a person, as a musician, has been such a delight. And he has this project, Chapter 26, to kind of document this moment. He talks about fondly. He talks about his family, being a father, his community, as well as addressing the issues like you mentioned with younger Kobie Dees. And I think it's important, as a leader, you kind of have to address that and wear your heart on your shoulder. So it's a great listen to, and he's only what I think he said, 26, right?
Yeah, it's the name of the project.
Is that what?
But he's
Yeah, but
I
I
think
think
he's turning 27 this year.
yeah. So he's when you listen to his project, he's lived a couple of lives, and it's just wonderful the way he's kind of crafted that story with the production. And he's always been a great rapper. Like if you see him live, his breath control is incredible. Doesn't need a hype man. He just does all the songs by himself. Does it effortlessly. Great presence on stage and in the booth. And JT, I think JT does the majority of the production. And they just have this great chemistry they have together. Whenever they step in the studio, they know each other inside out, and that kind of cohesion shows on this project.
Yeah, no, 100%. And even though some of the production styles are a little bit more different from Warriors and Storytellers being a lot more of a banger, like a trap banger type style, to Reflections freestyle, or Time being a little more traditional hip hop, to Lifetime, Father's Eyes being a little more R&B, or maybe more on a R&B poppy side. Statistic being more reflective, but like you said, it's also cohesive in a really good way. And obviously Kobie's message and what he's talking about over it definitely helps to that. But that is something that I appreciate a lot in projects nowadays, is the ability to do something that is so interesting in different styles but still be able to make it cohesive.
And it's the power of working with one producer. I think back in the day, that's what you did. You work with one producer, whether they're in your group or whether they're just in your crew. And you always had that cohesiveness throughout your project. There was that common thread of a sonic or of this type, a vibration. And then, we got into an era of, let's just get all the hot producers. Let's just make a record. And, and most of the times they were great as singles, but as a project, it just wasn't cohesive. Like we keep bringing that word up because it's important. And the thing nowadays, when you do have a project like this, you really kind of receive it like, okay, this is a body of work. It's thought of. It's not just a bunch of singles kind of mashed together because they're hot or whatever. And hats off to the team, to Kobie for recognizing that. I think there's only one song that wasn't produced by JT. I think it might have been, could be Right for Me. One of the, or maybe Lifetime, but one of the songs wasn't produced by JT. But it still didn't stick out either. They probably still thought, okay, it still has to fit within the sonics and the vibes of the album. And just They really did well, and it feels like he took his time with it too.
Yeah.
You know, he thought about it, sat with it, lived life,
Mhm.
which is important. You know, because I think in this era of having to rush things out to maintain momentum or capture a moment,
Mhm.
we kind of we lose that,
Yeah.
and we don't pay no mind because that's the society we're in right now. But once in a while, when you get those albums like the Kendrick album that he sat, he worked on for a couple of years, and you hear it and you're like, all right, that's right. That's what it feels like. It's like eating a whole bunch of fast food, fast food, fast food, and then you go to your mum's house and have that home cooked meal. You're like,
Yeah.
this is what I've been missing. You don't realize it because you're just too busy doing this and that. And then once you get that meal, you recognize that.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. But it's also funny to say that because I think I heard him say on an interview, I think it was with Wings, the one he had 4 months ago, so well before he even properly announced this project, that all the songs that he made on this, he made when he was 26. So it wasn't even over the past 3 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, I believe that. I think both can be true. I think subconsciously he was making this album.
yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
Because like I said, he was living life. He talks about getting, like I mentioned at the top, getting engaged, having another kid, working community, opening the studio. He's living life and receiving all these blessings and energies, and then his soul, his creative mind is probably like, okay, it's time. I put
Yeah.
it all down, and then just recorded it. That's what I like to think. Maybe it wasn't that deep, but it kind of I kind of feel that's what it was. That he was writing the album subconsciously, and then when it came to actually putting it down and writing it, it just flowed. And was able to kind of do it within a short space because he wasn't reaching for something to write to. He already had it.
Yeah. No, 100%, 100%. And that is one of the, just to step out of the Kobie project, just as a general thought, a lot of artists suffer with, writer's block or whatever, but they forget that you need something to write about in the first place. And if you
Yeah,
don't go out and actually just live life rather than having your head your
yeah,
lyric.
man. Like they say, man. Like you touch grass, man. Put your feet in the grass and stand. Like feel that life. I think we get caught up in a lot of things. Me too. But we got to remind ourselves, Simon. We got to remind ourselves that we have to get in touch with nature once in a while in life, and that's when inspiration comes.
No, 100%, 100%. Just as probably one more thing, I'm curious about your thoughts on the feature selections on this project. Miss Kanina, Zia Jade, Odyssey, Stan Walker. I think they were pretty much all on point. They played their part really well. But yeah, what was your thoughts on the features?
Yeah, I think there were the features, like you said, well thought. It wasn't for the sake of having a feature. It feels like well calculated and suited the song. Um, like Ride for Me is my favorite song on there.
Mm-hmm.
Featuring Zia Jade, and just I think because also it's slightly different to the others. Like even his cadence is a bit different, and the vibe of the song overall. But yeah, like if there was any kind of negative thing about that, would be not enough Kobie.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he raps that song, so you do get a lot when he does a verse.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, oh, I just want to hear Kobie, and that's no slight or any kind of negative kind of feedback, um, but also I will say I do understand the beauty of collaboration, and seeing him and Stan Walker in the same song is a beautiful sight as well.
For sure. For sure. Well, let's kind of go there if there is anything to go there with. Cons.
The
Seeing as
cons.
touched on, I guess maybe a slight, personal preference with this. Do you have any cons for this project? Anything that you're like, unfortunately, it's much for the here for this?
So let's establish, right? Like, did he call this an EP or is this an album?
I think he called an EP. Let me just.
Okay. How many songs? Two, four, three. Okay, it's in that gray area of like it could be a long EP or a short album. Or whatever it is, project, right? Cons. It's funny. It's I don't know, and maybe it's the gift and the curse of the project. Like I just was talking about the cohesiveness of our producer. Shout out to Big JT. I'm a fan of his music and he's the work that he's put in over the years as well. We must give that man his flowers. Big JT has it. He quietly works in the background and producing people like Briggs and Kobie Dee, and he's worked with Elephant Tracks over the years. And, what I would say is like, okay, let's see Kobie on other producers, some other producers. There could be another one producer. I would just like to hear that, but that might be for the next album. I'm not sure. So that's me, not kind of nitpicking, and me being, what's the word? Me being kind of selfish, I guess. Like, let's hear Kobie on an album entirely produced by Knots or something. Like it's just as an experiment. Kind of venture out of what he's traditionally known to rock over, and it's something that's just totally to the left. Like Kobie on mustard beats, it's sort of, what I mean, like just something like that. But that's like it's not really a con because it's an awesome listen.
Yeah, no, 100%. And my con isn't a con either. It's just I'm so invested in the story that I want to hear more. I want to know what was on the cutting room floor. I want to know.
That's the scary thing, right? Like he's 26, turning 27. And I mentioned before, like he's already lived a couple of lives already. Like imagine him telling the story between 26, 27 to 32 or 33, It's exciting to think, what else he would be doing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was already, I was about to say, maybe he's acting. He's already acted. He's already been in Heartbreak High, you know what I mean? Like, that's another thing he's done. So, sorry to cut you off, but I just thought of that when.
No. You're 100% right. And, again, like, it's just me being selfish about what more. But, Kobie's given, it seems like, a lot of himself in this project that it's like, you know what? I'm happy to eat off this for the next few years and then let him live his life again. And then if that's the case, we'll get an even more amazing project in a couple of years or however long he wishes to give to then go into another EP or even album or, however he wants to approach it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, as much as he's done already, I feel like he's just kind of scratching the surface of what his true potential is. Like if he's calling this an EP, like when he kind of locks himself away from an album, like man, I'm excited for that.
Scary. That's gonna be very scary.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Let's get to our final rating. So just for yourself and the people out there, the rating system is you are here for this. It depends on the day whether you're here for this or not, or unfortunately you are not here for this, but I have a feeling we know where we're both going to go. Hau, what do you rate this Kobie Dee EP?
Yeah, Kobie Dee, chapter 26. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it 24/7. It's just something special about the kid. We obviously talk about his skill as a rapper, being able to put words together and his cadence and all that, but it's the storytelling as well. He has so much layer and depth to him as a rapper and as a person. I'm a sucker for that shit. Like that's what I grew up on. So the storytelling and like flows and just that kind of passionate delivery, like conviction, So I'm here for it all day, every day.
Sure, for sure. And I agree. I said at the top, but just to say it again now, I'm here for this. Again, this is one of the most genuine and personal projects I've heard this year that doesn't feel forced. It hits all the points. It hits on more like serious issues, not just with himself, with mental health and family, but also issues in his community, mass incarceration, generational curses,
Yeah.
but
And then
gives,
the line and stuff, sorry to cut you off
yeah,
again. I have to get it out. But the line where he's talking about kids like smoking a rock that's bigger than Uluru, like that kind of descriptive line where it's like you can imagine that, but also kind of ties back to his people. It's just like, yeah, it's beautiful stuff.
for sure, for sure. And yeah, no, this is hard to beat for one of my favorite projects of the year. Not even just
Yeah,
like hip hop, like period. Like this is going to
yeah.
be very, very, very high up there. So, yeah, shout out to Kobie for an absolute amazing body of work. And thank you to you, Hal, for jumping on this review. Like I said,
Man, anytime. I think we have to do something harder next time. Maybe
Ooh,
if we review the Brothers album when it drops or some shit like that. Because I think Kobe's like, even if it was a bad project, I would find the beautiful
oh,
bits of it. You know what I mean? We have to like kind of something that's a bit left of center that I'm not too sure about. But I'm glad my first introduction to your series with your people, like no better place to start than Kobie Dee, chapter 26.
sure, for sure. I'll definitely keep that in mind. I'll definitely keep when that comes out. But all right now, yeah, definitely thank you for jumping on this one. Here is where I, kind of roll out that red carpet and let you know what you'd like to let the people know about what's going on in your life or what you'd like them to direct people towards. And yeah.
Man, I think we kind of covered it, man. Like, get out there. I think uh, you know, we're all in this together, right? Like, I think we work better as a team. Like, get out there, meet people face to face. I think obviously time and schedules sometimes don't connect, but I just know, I'm 48 years old. Like growing up most of my life without internet, I know the beauty in that human connection, and I think people aren't people don't know it because they haven't experienced it. But I know when they do, it's like I said before, it's like that home cooked meal. You realize what you missed. So yeah, man, like go support your favorite artists. Do whatever you can because it's tough out there for a lot of musicians. So if they make you as happy as when you listen to something like Kobie Dee, like go out there, watch him. And, I know you are. Every time I'm out, you're out there, Bruce. So I appreciate you and your energy and your mind and what you're doing for the culture. So it never goes unnoticed. It really is appreciated.
Sure, for sure. I appreciate that so much. And yeah, I agree. Definitely go support the scene. There's so many amazing artists in this scene.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
not to say I have to support everything because don't be fake about it.
yeah,
Like love what you love, but just go out there and show that love, express that love. Because I know artists love to hear it too. Love to see your faces there. Yeah.
1000%, 1000%. I think that's a perfect way to end this off. Once again, thank you, Hal, for coming on this. Ruin friends, Hal. I am Ru, okay, the Culture Black Kid, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.
Bless.